Eduardo, I love this producer. I love that we're featuring this wine. This is the 2020 vintage of the Bedrock Wine Company Old Vine Zinfandel. So this is extreme in that these vines are about 100 to 130 years old.
Probably as old as you get for California.
Yes.
And a lot of parts of the world as well.
You're exactly right. And the thing about calling something old vines is there actually isn't a legal definition.
It's a constant debate, right?
It's a debate.
30, 40.
Right,
yeah.
but I think 100 plus years.
That really qualifies.
Absolutely. For old vines. But, it takes a certain amount of sort of fortitude and conviction to keep working with old vines, because the truth is, vines, as they get older, as you know, they start producing less fruit. And wine is a beautiful romantic drink, but it's also a business.
Absolutely. Economically, it's hard to maintain that.
Exactly. And so a lot of people will, pull out vines, replant so they can keep production, up or growing. But these vines are they produce less and less as they go, but they're almost like people, in that they may be a little bit less productive, but they're more.
But you want to hear the stories.
You want to hear the stories. They're wise, and in the glass, you kind of get a concentration that you don't necessarily get from a younger vine.
Yeah, these are head-trained, gnarly vines that immediately draw you in.
Exactly.
And obviously, I mean, it's in the glass here. What's all the different layers of flowers and a little spice and.
That's exactly it. Floral spice. There's kind of a blueberry, boysenberry, bit of a savory note there, like a crushed rock. But I really love this producer as well. This is made by Morgan Twain Peterson, who is a master of wine. His father, Joel Peterson, was the founder of Ravenswood.
Absolutely, arguably one of the most famous Zinfandels.
Exactly. So this is obviously a family that knows what they're doing with Zinfandel. But in addition to that, they have some amazing vineyard sources. So Bedrock Vineyard is the majority of the vineyard that's in this, but also Evangelo and a few other sites that all sort of contribute to the complexity of the wine as well.
They create an orchestra between all this. Sandy soils. I mean, talk about the struggle of a vine, right? To produce this, if you're that vine that has lived over 100 years, you have stories to tell, as we said, and then it's just struggling to get then non-irrigated, so they're dry farmed.
Dry farmed, exactly.
And you really you get all this different, compelling aspects to it.
Exactly. And there's just a splattering of a few other varieties in here. There's some Mataro, there's some Panache, there's some Carignan that adds to the complexity of it. But Zinfandel is a fascinating variety, I think.
Absolutely.
We didn't know where it came from for a long time.
No, several theories have different things, but I think the strongest fact is Croatia, right?
Where it's known as Tribidag, that just rolls off the tongue.
Where Mike Gergich did all that studies and finally got down to the nitty-gritty of it. But I think this wine, more than anything, is like opening a history book on California and see immigrants that came over, brought the grapes, planted them in the right soils and sites, and just... It's a preservation in a lot of ways.
Exactly right, because even though, as you mentioned, it did come over, from the old world, but California embraced this variety like nobody else. I know it's in the south of Italy, it's Primitivo, so it's not exclusive to us, but if we think of one grape variety that California sort of has said, this is ours, it's Zinfandel.
We have taken it over. Yeah.
So what for pairings? Because I know for me, Zinfandel is all about barbecue.
Well... Grandma loves barbecue, but also Grandma loves putting something overnight in the crock pot. Whether it's lamb or chicken even, and just put it there with red wine, bay leaf, a lot of spices, close it up, and then the next day everybody wakes up for a feast for lunch that carries on through dinner. And this is a wine that really stands to that.
Yeah, I love that. I have a pulled pork recipe that takes days of very, very slow controlled cooking, and then it just kind of falls apart. You don't even.
Sounds delicious.
That's it brings out a little bit of smoky character in the wine, but it's good because the pork is so tender that the tannins on this can sort of meld with it. It doesn't compete.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm down. Do you say when?
All right. Well, give me a couple of days because it takes a while. Cheers.
Cheers.